I could hear a voice. Every Sunday, my wife says, "Don't forget to smile." So good morning. Ohayou gozaimasu. You know, I woke up this morning thinking, it sure would be nice to practice my chanting. Oh, I think I'll go to the Betsuin. So I come here to the temple. 9:30 comes around, and here we are. All of us here in the Hondo chanting the Jusei-ge. What are the odds of that happening? I wanted to chant, you wanted to chant. We all end up in the same room at the same time chanting. Small world. Well, maybe it's not really that amazing. Maybe I wanted to chant and you didn't. Maybe you're here because your mother volunteered to teach Dharma school and you have to be here. Or maybe you want to play basketball and you have to be here. Or maybe you joined the Scouts and you have to be here. Maybe your father snuck out early and went to play golf and you couldn't go with him, so you have to be here. And I didn't just come here to chant, I work here. So maybe this is not a good example of small world. But still, there are so many things that had to align just so for each of us to be here. An infinite number of things had to end up just so. And it's amazing. Please join me in Gassho. Beams of light, 3,600,000 billion in number, shine brilliantly from within each flower. There is no place they do not reach. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. This quote from Shindan is revealing that everything, every entity is shining with the brilliance and the beauty and the power of all the connections, causes, and conditions that allow its existence to be. Each flower in the arrangements that we see up here on the Onaijin, each stalk of wheat growing in the field, each person here, you, Valerie, Gordon, everyone is shining. In every field all around us as we drive to the temple, human effort and natural elements combine to create the proper causes and conditions. And this same light is all around us. This is Amida. This is what we're calling Amida. Not some entity or deity hiding and watching us, but reality itself. Amida is reality. In Shin Buddhism, our practice is deep hearing, reciting the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Deep hearing is more than to hear this chatterbox voice that goes on and on in our heads every minute of every day. Deep hearing is hearing the Dharma. Deep hearing is hearing the sounds and the voices of reality. They surround us, they permeate us. Suchness, thusness, the voice of the Buddha. As we recite Namo Amida Butsu, the realm of other connects with the realm of self. Other power of reality, suchness, Buddha, reveals, exposes, permeates the self-power realm of me, my calculations, my conveniently constructed reality. Have you ever had something happen or met someone where you're caused to comment? Small world. You just happen to meet someone who just happens to be related to so-and-so, and that person was a big part of your life 10 years ago, and you just happened to meet a week ago while eating in a restaurant, while visiting a city that you've never been to in your life, and in walks her mother. Small world, right? We all have these things happen. Sometimes it happens where connections and timing all fall into place and we discover something shared, completely unexpected. Small world. One time, I ran the Lake Tahoe Marathon, and when we were finished, I had a choice of a dozen buses to take me back to the parking area 10 miles away. So imagine that. Finished with the race, all tired and sweaty, they give you your stuff and you climb on to these buses. They're all parked there like the yellow school buses, right? A dozen of them, maybe more. So many buses. And everyone's lined up and they're filling up quickly. Just get on quickly. So I pick one bus out of all these buses. At first I'm standing and holding onto the bar because there's not enough seats. People are being dropped off along the way. And it took me a while before I could sit down. When I finally sat down, I made small talk with the guy next to me. People had different colored jackets on because we're given different colors depending on which event we ran in. So marathon people had a certain color, half marathon people had a different color, 10K people had another color. You could tell by their jacket color what event they ran in. So I asked my neighbor about his half marathon event. And he tells me he likes to run close to home. So I knew he was not from very far away. It ends up he grew up in Penryn, California. He grew up within walking distance of the Placer Buddhist Church, the old one where my father worked and where I grew up. I was in grammar school, 2nd grade to 5th grade during that time, so just a little guy. He used to come to our obon every year. And although he was younger than me, he tells me he has an older brother, close to my age. And then we figure out that his older brother is Robert Caldwell, who was in my 5th grade class with Mrs. Maple. Small world. So today I'm going to ask for your help. Okay? It's kind of a call and response. I'm going to say a word and you repeat it. Okay? So please try to participate. Just humor me. Okay? Okay, let's change it a little bit. This side and all the upstairs people say the first word. This side and the downstairs people hiding back there, you say the second one. Okay? So let's just try this. This is about 5 words. Okay. Closed. Closed. Okay. A little bit louder. I couldn't hear you guys now. Come on. Open. Open. Good. Okay. Nice sound. I. Others. Others. Good. Narrow. Narrow. Wide. Wide. Okay. Me. Me. Namo Amida Butsu. Good. All right. Nice. Okay. One more. Small world. Small world. Okay. Infinite causes and conditions. Infinite causes and conditions. Okay. Thank you. Very good. So in each pair of words, we shift from closed to open, from a narrow perspective to a wider perspective. Okay? In Shin Buddhism, we are provided with framework, terminology, values, perspective, and description of our relationship with the world. These are very valuable, and until we recognize them, we're not able to appreciate that we have this treasure of a teaching. When I sat next to the guy on the bus, the guy from Penryn, inconceivable causes and conditions had to line up just so, in such a manner that this particular meeting is caused to be. What were the odds of picking that bus and having the timing that everyone would get off and I would find that seat to sit next to that particular person who was the brother of my 5th grade friend? That's not small world. That's countless causes and conditions. Often we want to simplify the world and package our thoughts and our experiences into manageable units. Then we can place them in the proper file cabinet in our heads. This is how we approach things in normal life. Buddhism allows for the inconceivable and the unimaginable and the infinite and everything that is beyond comprehension. That's closer to reality than small world. When we recognize the causes and conditions that surround us, we become aware of Amida. When we package it and file it in our heads, we reinforce the self. This is important. Pay attention. When we recognize the causes and conditions that surround us, we become aware of Amida. When we package it and file it in our heads, we reinforce the self. Before I came down to Sacramento, Sharman and I went to a U-Haul rental place in Ontario, Oregon to get a trailer to bring some things here. I told the guy at the counter, I'm moving to Sacramento, I want a trailer. I want to take it one way and just leave it there. The guy said, yeah, I used to live down there in a small town. Probably never heard of it. A place called Penryn. Again, Penryn, right? I said, I used to live there over 50 years ago. I told him we used to live in the old part of town. It used to be like a little Japan town. They had 3 Japanese grocery stores right next to each other. And he starts describing the exact scene I'm describing, telling me I used to go to Goto's fish market and go by there and buy things. I love Penryn. I still go back there every summer. I still have family and friends out in Penryn. I love it out there. So what were the odds of meeting maybe the only guy in Ontario who has ever been to Penryn as I was getting ready to move down here? Small world. I went to Kyoto, Japan for my second Kyoshi ordination. It was a dozen years ago. On the next to the last day of the retreat, I was talking to an older Japanese man who was there for his Kyoshi ordination too. As we were talking, he starts to tell me of his best friend growing up. They were childhood friends. They did everything together. His friend moved to America and they lost touch. He tried to find him, to write a letter, but he wasn't able to find him. He goes on telling me how he wished he could talk to him or write to him just one more time. But America is so big, it's impossible to find him. His name is Tetsuo Yukawa. He went into a book publishing company, but I don't know how to contact him. America is so big. I told him, I know him. But he didn't hear me. I kept on with his story. His brother's a Kaikyoshi minister, but Tetsuo, I think he was in the San Francisco area. So I told him, I know him. He didn't hear me, going on about how both of them are getting older, probably impossible now to find him because America is so big. Finally, I stopped him. Wait, I know him. I know Tetsuo, your friend. He says his brother was a minister at the Sacramento temple. Tets had a publishing company in South San Francisco. He used to come to my father's house with his big Akita dog, Bonta. If we weren't sitting on the floor, he would have fallen out of his chair. You know him. Yes, I know him. Give me your address and I'll make sure he gets it when I go home. He was so grateful, almost in tears. And I know they were able to contact each other, maybe on the phone, maybe just a letter, but just a little bit before Tets died. Small world. So as you can see, it's not just a small world of coincidence and happenstance. It's countless causes and conditions that are interconnected, interrelated, interdependent. Suchness, thusness, reality, Amida, manifesting itself in endless combinations. So instead of saying, small world, where we close the book and file it away and reaffirm the small, self-centered I, say Namo Amida Butsu, where we acknowledge Amida and we remain open to the wonders and the countless combinations of this ever-changing world. Please join me in Gassho. Beams of light, 3,600,000 billion in number, shine brilliantly from within each flower. There is no place they do not reach. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you.